We Play. A game beloved by some, nostalgic for many, but ultimately underwhelming when pitted against the likes of the other installments in the collection of Wii games dubbed the Wii series. Released in 2006, this quirky and simple game includes 9 minigames to help you gain competence with the Wiimote and the motion controls that define the Wii console. Some of these minigames include a rehash of Duck Hunt for the NES, Popping Bubbles, everyone's favorite bar game,
7 balls!
and Chaotic Warfare. The goal for every single minigame is to achieve the highest score you possibly can, and that is what Wii Play boils down to, a high score game. Tanks is the highlight for the vast majority of people due to the sheer amount of replay value compared to the other 8 minigames. But the game encourages you to revisit the others through a very alluring system, the medals. Every minigame will reward you with medals if your score surpasses a certain threshold, and there are 4 tiers: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Platinum is the hardest tier to achieve, often requiring many attempts for casual players to earn. I'm willing to bet that some of you watching now didn't even realize platinum medals existed. But sometimes, games can build communities dedicated to completing arbitrary tasks as quickly as possible, and Wii Play has acquired one such community. This is the world record progression of Wii Play Platinum Medal Speedruns. To start off, the score thresholds for each medal in Wii Play were hilariously underdocumented. We know the proper ones now thanks to rigorous experimentation by SMMIDI, but if you searched up how to get platinum medals in Wii Play up until fairly recently, you would be met with conflicting information. As a result, only people showcasing platinum medals for individual minigames existed, and some were able to compile their fruitful plat runs into one video. With so much unintentional misinformation, it stands to reason that the first single-segment Platinum Medal speedrun didn't happen until June 8th, 2018 by Jay Whacking, over 11 years after the game came out. Let's take a look at just how difficult the run can get. First of all, you're able to do the minigames in any order you desire. The reason why speedrunners always do billiards first is because of the very first shot, or the break. Because the break is effectively random, it will provide a massive time swing depending on how many balls you can sink at once, and it isn't ideal to leave the most luck-based aspect of the speedrun at any other place than at the very beginning. Here, the goal is to finish a game of billiards, and the platinum medal score is at a threshold of 60 points, or 7 combined shots and fouls. Assuming perfect play, a 3-ball break is the lowest that will allow for a platinum medal, but in some rare cases, people have been able to sink in 2 or more balls in shots after the break. Here, Jay managed a 5 break, giving him some wiggle room and closing out the minigame without much trouble. Next up is Tanks, and this is another crucial minigame for the speedrun. The basic breakdown of Tanks is that you start off with 3 lives, you gain 1 life for every 5 missions you complete, and killing all the enemy tanks in a mission is how you complete it. You have an on-screen bullet limit of 5, so you can't just spam projectiles, and you are also capable of self-destruction. The pink blocks are able to be blown up through mines, and you have an on-screen limit of 2 at your disposal. Finally, there are several different colors of tanks, and each of them have individual qualities that are important to remember. Brown tanks are stationary and not very clever or aggressive. They don't pose any problems. Gray tanks are mobile, but they're also not very aggressive. Introduced in Mission 5, teal tanks fire missiles rather than bullets, and they travel fast. They also tend to run away from you, so their avoidant nature makes them annoying to fight. In Mission 8, yellow tanks are incredibly trigger-happy with their mine limit of 4, but they're not very clever either, often locking themselves in with their own mines. In Mission 10, red tanks have no special gimmick, but they are more aggressive than gray tanks. Mission 12 introduces green tanks, which are stationary, but they fire missiles that can ricochet off walls twice. They are scarily intelligent and definitely a major concern in any stage. Mission 15 introduces purple tanks, which are more intelligent than red tanks by including a tiny amount of an avoidant and a defensive nature. Finally, in the final mission, it establishes white tanks, which disappear as soon as you gain control of your own tank, leaving only their tracks for you to see. So now we're done with tanks and can move on to the next. Oh, that's not the right medal. For some very odd reason, the minigame kicks you out at mission 20, the supposed final mission, with only a gold medal the first time you play it. To get a platinum medal, you actually need to replay the entire thing to see that you've unlocked more missions. This explains why Jay splits a 160 as the score for Tank's Platinum, and he actually exceeds that, ending at mission 39. After Tanks comes Laser Hockey, and you have a 2-minute time limit to acquire 14 goals against the CPU. With every hit of the puck, it moves faster, and with every shot you score, the CPU gets faster and smarter, so this is no easy feat. That's pretty much all there is to this, but even with how deceptively simple this looks, Jay spent over an hour and 10 minutes trying to surpass 14 goals, often coming just 1 or 2 short. In the end, he reset over 40 times and was visibly and audibly relieved at completing it. Find Me is next, and it's basically Where's Waldo. The challenge in later stages comes in the Me's moving, whether it's rotating in space, traveling down an infinite escalator, swimming in the ocean, and so on. This is another pivotal game, as not being observant enough to spot the target Mies can cost many seconds per level, and it will domino through the 80 required to pass the platinum threshold. Afterwards, fishing is played. There are 6 tiers of fish available to catch, and a point range for 5 of them. There's also a bonus display at the top of the screen. If you catch the fish that is being featured, then it will double the points you would have received. The first 4 fish appear regularly throughout the round, but the King of the Pond only appears a single time near the end of the minigame, and the mystery fish appear if your luck is good. Each time you catch a fish, a small cutscene plays, and it also adds to the list you need to scroll through at the very end, so catching as few fish as possible is optimal to get up to 2600 points, the score threshold for Platinum. Then we have Shooting Range. There are 5 stages in this minigame to reach at least 600 points, the score requirement here. The first stage involves balloons, and if you shoot balloons of the same color, you get extra points. The second stage involves targets, and you have to avoid shooting ones with your me on it. Golden targets are worth 10 points though, so be sure not to miss them. The third stage involves frisbees or clay discs, and if you shoot them in the foreground, you get 5 points. In the middle ground or background, you get 3 points. The fourth stage involves soda cans, and for every subsequent hit on a single can, 1 point is compounded to the shot. So 15 points per can are available. Finally, the last stage involves UFOs that try to abduct your helpless Mies. Each one is worth 3 points, each golden one is worth 5 points, and if needed, after all the UFOs are destroyed, each surviving me gives you 10 bonus points. There's also a combo you can maintain for bonus points. For every successful consecutive shot starting from 5, you receive 1 point that will be distributed when you drop the combo or finish the minigame. And of course, what kind of Duck Hunt ripoff wouldn't be complete without ducks? Table tennis is next, and it is as simple as rallying back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back. It operates like tanks though, where it kicks you out at the gold threshold for some reason, meaning you have to replay the entire thing again to get up to platinum. Luckily, it's not much further down, at 200 rallies, but at the speed the ball is going, it certainly is one of the more stressful minigames. In the penultimate split, we have Pose Me. Each bubble is worth 1 point, and for each stage you complete without losing a life, you get 5 bonus points multiplied by the number of the level. You only have 3 lives though, so ideally you won't be losing any of them. Each level runs on a set timer, so you can't speed through the levels by popping the bubbles faster, but as long as the spawning timer is active, bubbles will appear. This means that the faster you pop bubbles, the more that spawn, and the more points you'll get. The platinum medal score threshold is 1200 points, and Jay managed to surpass it by level 15. Finally, we have charge. I've already made a whole other video on this minigame, so I won't touch upon it very much in this one. Here, the platinum medal threshold is 325 points, meaning you typically have to hit every single scarecrow along the course. The remaining time once you finish is rounded down to the second and added to your total though, so that helps. No matter how janky and weird the controls are, the requirement is relatively lenient even if you slow down to ensure every scarecrow is run over. It would be an absolute disaster if you had to restart the minigame because you missed a line of scarecrows.
We did it.
2 hours, 36 minutes, and 11 seconds was an incredible first run of the category, especially with a game over in Mission 16 of the first run-through of tanks, and all that time which was spent in laser hockey. Some of the minigames obviously posed more of a challenge than the others, namely Find Me and tanks due to how long it takes to progress enough to surpass a required score, but different runners would struggle with different splits, and Jay's kryptonite was laser hockey. Fortunately, he would set a new record 12 days later, reducing the time spent in laser hockey by over half.
Now for the thing. I'm just gonna...
However, he only got a 2 break in billiards, getting lucky enough after that to barely obtain a platinum medal. He underperformed in Find Me, losing about a minute to his previous run overall. He didn't manage to do fishing on the first try, wasting about 2 minutes. And everything else was about the same. Everything except tanks, which I have to dive a little deeper for. Usually, when you surpass a score threshold in tanks, you self-destruct to game over and receive the medal. With the gold medal though, once you finish the quote-unquote final mission, the game ends immediately, which negates the purpose of losing lives. So you actually don't even want to die from an enemy tank, as each unwanted death loses roughly 8.5 seconds in addition to the resetting of the position of the surviving tanks. Jay was left with 1 life before receiving the gold medal, which is cutting it about as close as you can get when a deathless run leaves you with 6 lives. Tanks is still more complex than that though. Once you get past mission 20, the true nature of tanks is revealed, as it goes from fixed missions to completely randomized ones. The map layout and the tank grades are left up to RNG except for missions that are multiples of 5 and 10, where the former only randomizes tanks, and the latter is completely fixed. Because Jay goes all the way to mission 38, that means he needed to deal with 15 totally random stages and 2 half-random ones. Cindefusic actually made a tool that displays the possible arrangements of each mission in October of 2023, so we can now appreciate just how vast and expansive Tanks truly is. But back to Jay. The first ever sub 2 hour time was a historic milestone to break in a category as challenging as this. In fact, the category was so challenging that Jay was the sole runner on the leaderboards for over a year and a half. That is, until Nicro started to practice for platinum medals in December of 2019. Known for achieving the first sub-hour in Super Mario Odyssey any percent, Nicro had roots in Wii Sports, and it wasn't much of a stretch for him to branch out to Wii Play. However, once he started attempting actual runs, he didn't save highlights of them and only edited them down to showcase on his channel, meaning there's a lot of lost history. If it wasn't for Ramdomno archiving the full streams of successful runs, only the edits would exist, and they obviously wouldn't be valid on the leaderboards. Nicro's first run clocked in at a 2:45.54, and he decided to start with laser hockey instead of billiards after seeing how much Jay struggled with it. He surprisingly cleared it on his first try.
Oh my god, there's no way.
Followed by spending 7.5 minutes in billiards. But Nicro's biggest rival was table tennis, making a whole video on why it was the worst platinum medal.
This shit's lame as hell. This one's not even hard, it's just so boring.
No, dude!
In the run, He spent almost as much time here compared to Jay spent in laser hockey. The rest of the run isn't worth analyzing, but it gave the category life after being inactive for so long. Shortly after Nicro started speedrunning Wii Play, a new challenger entered the fray. This is Murasaki, who is regarded as one of the absolute best Wii Series speedrunners.
Oh! Oh! 7 balls!
He completely dominates any category he touches, but is most well known for pushing the Wii Sports Resort All Stamps category to extreme optimization for its length. He too performed a rudimentary run of platinum medals to confirm that he was capable of the challenge, but after practicing each minigame and achieving max scores in Find Me, table tennis, and tanks, he was set to do his next run. Mura set a 131.50 on January 10th, 2020, beating Jay by almost 20 minutes through doing laser hockey on a second try, and finally ending tanks on the correct score threshold of 125, or finishing mission 30. Previously, we just assumed Jay's arbitrary score of 160 was accurate, but we eventually figured out that the medals were tied to mission count rather than friendly round numbers. Mura also introduced slight optimizations to the run, including burning time in level 80 of Find Me rather than level 81, because less clicks are required to guess incorrectly due to the prompt, and also a way to end shooting range early, which I will let Mura himself explain.
If I get a perfect combo up to the last stage, I only need to shoot a few UFOs. And then just let the UFOs abduct the Miis, and then that's it. Game will end.
Thank you, Mura. However, Mura passively lost time to Jay due to being from the UK, where PAL consoles ran at 5/6 the refresh rate of North American NTSC consoles, meaning he was effectively playing in slight slow motion. This actually makes table tennis easier, albeit slower, and is a factor in why Mura was able to complete Pose Me one mission earlier than Jay managed, saving roughly 30 seconds. That didn't stop him from improving the record though, as he would set a 127.39 on the very next day. This was the first run where everything was done on the very first try, which is absolutely remarkable. The gameplay overall was slightly more shaky though, as Mura dropped the very last bubble in level 13 of Pose Me, causing him to miss the perfect bonus of 65 and forcing him to play level 14. He also didn't maintain his max combo enough to finish shooting range early, and he performed Find Me 40 seconds slower overall compared to his last run.
There we go. So we got a sub 128 time. I'm very happy with that. I think that will conclude my attempts at Wii Play all platinum medals for now.
Nicro would continue to speedrun Wii Play, but decided to move on to other categories once Mura had improved platinum medals. It wasn't until March that he decided to give the category another shot, when this happened.
See you later on. There we go. Thank God, dude. Fucking hate this game. I don't understand how I got that. Oh, fuck! No! Damn, that's like a 4-minute gold almost. That was some MLG crazy quick scoping action. Holy fuck, we are in charge. Alright, so yeah, you know what would be nice if we just don't choke charge? Oh my god. Wow. World record is 124.19 by me. What?
Achieving a personal best beyond his wildest dreams, Nicro would surpass Murasaki by over 3 minutes and claim the Platinum Medals world record for himself. This run was by no means perfect.
Oh yeah, watch this. No, no!
After all, Nicro does tend to fool around sometimes. The main time losses in this run were tanks, as he lost over a minute in Mission 13 and was left with 1 life in his gold medal playthrough. Fishing, since he reset twice due to subpar points accumulation by a certain point in the minigame, costing about a minute, and Find Me because of compounding time loss in the crowded and dark levels.
This is when it starts to get really fucking annoying. I hate these ones.
Mura was able to perform at a much higher level in theory, but because of the speed difference between the 50Hz and 60Hz refresh rates, Nicro could edge out a new record. Mura wanted to take back the record despite the clear disadvantage he was facing though. If only there was some way to change the refresh rate of his console. I had no idea that was a thing you could do. So with the optimal refresh rate setting, on the day after Nicro's run, Mura improved the world record by just a small margin of nearly 10 minutes. The difference in difficulty for table tennis and Pose Me were negligible for someone as skilled as Mura, and he was able to comfortably transition to the faster, more intense gameplay. By far, the most groundbreaking addition to this run was playing in a 4:3 aspect ratio. You may not be able to tell by the display, since Mura had it stretched out to 16:9 through his video capture setup. This single change had the possibility of several minutes of time save in tanks alone from squishing the map layout into a smaller size, decreasing the amount of traveling time and movement for every single mission. This adds up over 50 missions in total, so how wasn't this discovered any earlier? Well, it was discovered all the way back in April 2018 by the best tanks player at the time, Timba. But unfortunately, it just didn't garner much attention and ultimately faded into obscurity. Once people started rediscovering it in February 2020, that's when the news started to spread quickly, and it even inspired Nicro to experiment with 4x3. However, it also makes laser hockey more difficult because of the smaller playing field, and he already struggled enough with it on widescreen, so he opted for 16:9 instead. But Mura was fearless, implementing both the 4:3 aspect ratio and changing his console's refresh rate to 60Hz, overcoming both difficulty jumps associated with those changes, and pioneering the use of the optimal console settings. This record once again did everything on the first try, which set the bar incredibly high for future runners of this category. It was at this point that a community sum of best segments was compiled from the runs mentioned thus far, and it was calculated that the theoretical best time would be in the mid 1 hour 11 minute range. Obviously, Find Me encompasses such a vast margin of the potential time save, and people could perform it much more optimally, but even though the fastest known tank segment was in the current world record, it could easily contain much more optimization potential than Find Me. In theory, the other games either were the best known segment at the time, performed close to them, or table tennis and billiards. Table tennis because you can hold the paddle close to the net and reduce the travel time of the ball at the risk of missing it or getting an obstruction, and billiards because it's billiards.
Oh yes, like...
With the knowledge of where his time save was, Mura continued to do runs and found a new minor strategy in charge. It wasn't anything to do with the course itself though, it's as simple as manually resetting at the very beginning to skip the cutscene. This extremely easy trick saves 2 to 3 seconds. All in all, Mura was able to lower the record down a minute further 2 days after the 1:14:37, and then all the way down to a 1:11:01 2 days after that. I hope it goes without saying that Wii Play can be very unforgiving at times, and the run can end at any point once runners escape Billiards jail. Mura very clearly possessed an otherworldly amount of perseverance to stick with this category, and his newest record was a testament to that. Find Me was a substantial struggle in the 111.01, particularly in the dark levels of 58 and 59, where Murrah lost 53 seconds combined, and level 79, where he wasted a staggering 88 seconds.
It's Catherine. Alright, I've lost time because of that.
More dark levels exist, but the ones before the gold medal and platinum medal threshold are what strike fear into the hearts of casual players and speedrunners alike. Murrah's grind would slow down after this point, where he would set a new record roughly once every month for a while. A 1:10:41 on April 25th.
Yeah!
Then a 1:09:26 on May 2nd, which included the first ever laser hockey 14-0 score in a world record.
Yes! 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 Sub 110! It's finally happened!
He didn't need any of the UFOs in shooting range, and gold splits in Find Me, tanks, and most of the minigames actually indicated that it was the fastest he'd ever performed those segments. Murrah was now 8 minutes ahead of second place, being Jay, who unsuccessfully tried to retake what was originally his. But Murrah was nowhere close to stopping yet, and he would continue to dominate the category, pushing the record far beyond the capabilities of any other runner.
Oh, the only reason we got tanks went so well, it's why this time has just happened.
As Murrah stated, tanks went extraordinarily well this run, and it just goes to show how important of a game it is in this category. And Murrah was so confident and masterful that he decided to do it last this entire time? Truly mind-blowing stuff. At this point, Murrah had been the sole contender of the record for 3 months, and he had been actively grinding plats the entire time. He single-handedly lowered the record past what anyone else in the community thought was possible, and challenged everyone's perception of what the absolute limit of the run could be. With the sheer level of optimization Murrah was faced with now, surely he had brought about the death of platinum medals. However, in late August, without expecting to get another personal best ever again, Murrah would go on one last grinding spree and would achieve these runs.
Okay, you know what? Let's keep going. I'll keep going. Are we actually gonna get out with time save? Yes, we are! Yes! Really? F off. Yeah! Wow! I did glance over the timer, but I didn't realize I was doing that well. Still though, I better not jinx it. Oscar! That's it. Can we finish the level here? Yes, we can! Oh my word! Yes! Fullest gold medal! Forgive me if I don't talk much, but this is really serious now. Now we can celebrate! Let's go! Yeah, I'm officially done with this category. I don't even think I want to go for sub 105.
As if a mid 107 wasn't already well ahead of its time, Murrah was now on the verge of breaking the sub 105 barrier with this newest record. he was now playing so well that he finished fishing with 9 fish, the lowest count we've seen so far. He essentially matched his best segment ever in Find Me. He performed the laser hockey flawlessly. He completed charge with 34.65 seconds remaining on the timer, which for a non-specialist is absurd. He finishes Pose Me in level 13. That's 1 level earlier than usual. And no, there wasn't any 50Hz slow motion shenanigans going on at this point. Murrah is just that good. He achieved the Deathless Tanks gold medal segment for the first time in a run ever, getting a sub 8 in standard Tanks 20 missions timing, and beating the world record there. After all was said and done, on the literal pace of a lifetime, Murrah was able to clutch out a Tanks Platinum medal just a few seconds short of his best segment. This run undoubtedly blew away the community, and we were all now convinced that the category was completely deceased. Yes, the sub 105 was in the air, but when a run even of this caliber wouldn't cut it, then what the hell would? Unsurprisingly, this record would stand for an extremely long time. On April 10th, 2021, a new theoretical best time would emerge thanks to Mayrink, who compiled the best-known segments of every minigame at the time and made a video showcasing them. The time would be just barely sub-hour, giving credence to the possibility far in the future. However, even with the release of this segmented run, the category would not see much activity, or any activity at all really, for a while. Skipping forward 9 months, a few runners would attempt platinum medal runs of their own, but no one would even come close to Murrah. The first to strike was SM Midi with a 129.16 on January 22nd, 2022. He was the first to even touch the category since Murrah's 105, so that broke the ice a little.
That's amazing. This is literally last place, and I'm happy.
Following that, a 115.23 by Ale Ale on August 27th of that same year. Still nowhere close, but it's really hard to obtain all the platinum medals in one sitting. Another year would pass before the next run surfaced, a 150.01 by Askin Netty on May 13th, 2023. All of these players deserve recognition for completing a run of the hardest mainstream category Wii Play has to offer, even if they weren't anywhere near the world record. Oh, an improvement.
Four break, 5 break, 6 break. Oh no, wait, no it is. No way, oh my god. No, ain't no way, we just got a 7. No.
This is SM Midi, a variety streamer, game show enthusiast,
Yes, it's the $250,000.
and speedrunner from the UK. He achieved the 108.09 on May 29th, showing great promise after a drought in platinum medal activity. Now, even though Midi is from Europe, he had already managed to get a 60Hz setup going, probably due to playing on Wii U instead of Wii. Even though this run was still quite a ways away from Murrah's godly record, it wouldn't take long for something to brew behind the scenes. You might be thinking, why am I showing you clips of someone obtaining tiers of medals below platinum? Well, what you just saw was the fact that we were now able to skip the spotlight cutscene that usually plays in this sequence. Turns out, if you fill up your score leaderboard with high scores that you could never reasonably achieve during a speedrun before the game allows you to earn medals for yourself, you'll never fill up a slot in said score leaderboard, and as a result, nothing triggers the spotlight cutscene. This discovery was unhoarded in early April of 2023, and it was viable in all of the medals categories, saving roughly 27 seconds in total, or about 3 seconds per minigame. This strategy involves a pretty arduous setup process though, since exiting out of tanks for the first time from a fresh save file unlocks the medals. So in the case of platinum medals, you basically have to set up platinum medal caliber high scores 5 times for each of the minigames before entering tanks for the first time. Then, you need to complete Mission 20 5 times in a row without exiting out before it's done. Luckily, setting up tanks is the only thing you need to do in one sitting, but it still easily takes several hours to make one score skip file. Top runners of Wii Play make sure to save their file to an SD card once it's complete, since resetting now means deleting the console's file for Wii Play entirely, then importing the SD card's file back to the console.
It is extremely smart to have multiple backups in case you accidentally delete your SD card's file instead of your console's file. So far, no one has done that, but it's better to be safe than sorry and waste another 5 hours playing through all the minigames again.
Before he set his 10809, Midi decided that if he was going to continue running platinum medals, he was going to give himself the best shot he could at the record and implement score skip.
That wasn't the only new strategy he used though. Find Me had 2 revolutionary breakthroughs that would net faster times more consistently. First off, there's hitbox strat. If you look closely, the correct answer will always have a bigger hitbox than the surrounding Miis, probably because the developers didn't want misclicks to happen. This effect is most notable in the extremely crowded levels deep into the minigame, which were the hardest in the past when this wasn't known. Secondly, people noticed that Find Me pulled custom Miis from the Mii channel often, so why not compound that mechanic and make dozens upon dozens of custom Miis that stand out? Perhaps with hats or caps to further separate those Miis from the crowd? This is known as hat strat, but in general, making a ton of custom Miis will aid in finding the correct answer, assuming the game decides to use one of them instead of the default random ones. Funnily enough, Mura was unintentionally using the custom Mii strategy because he made copies of the CPU Miis from Wii Sports in his Mii channel.
It's Catherine.
Oscar!
That was definitely a factor in why he was that far ahead of his time. With those strategies, Midi now stood a fighting chance for the world record. He already had the records for the other 3 medal categories by this point, and because of that, he was pretty dang good at tanks. He utilized the risky approach that only tank specialists could consistently survive, defending incoming bullets expertly, and having almost unmatched awareness. Hold on. A deathless gold medal tanks? Maybe this run will be it. Unlike Mura though, he still had 5 minigames left to do, so lots of things could still go wrong.
Surely losing this deep into table tennis would cost him the pace he was on, right?
It's over. Oh my god. It's over. Oh my god. Is that all? Have I missed the split or something? I feel like I've missed the split. No score skip. Who cares? Oh my god. Is that no. That can't be. That can't be it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm getting the camera on. I'm getting the camera on. It's so over. Oh my god. 12 days. 12 days. Oh my god.
Clearly, platinum medals still had a ton of potential after lying dormant for 3 years. And now that Mura had a legitimate rival, he decided to start up the Platts grind once again. He would strike 9 days after Midi's unexpected run, having set up score skip himself and beating Midi by 13 seconds. After all this time and still retaining so much dominance cannot go understated. Murasaki is truly built differently. Unfortunately for him, the driving factor in this record was the fact that Midi lost around 2 minutes in table tennis alone. In fact, compared to Midi, Mura was losing a minute in both tanks and Find Me. So, Midi had the upper hand here, and a new rivalry had sparked.
Who would break the 102 barrier, or even better, the 101 barrier? On this side, we have SM Midi, pursuing medal category perfection once again with the acquisition of 4 out of 4 world records. He has to improve the platinum medals record to achieve that though, and his opponent is no slouch. You all know him, you all love him, it's Murasaki with the current record of 103.19. The first strike has landed and oh, would you look at that, a 103.07 on July 26th by Midi. 30 seconds in Find Me, equal in tanks, and what a blunder in laser hockey. Mitty is no match for Murrah in Pose Me. That's an unavoidable 20 seconds. Don't count the veteran out just yet. Looks like he's barraging Mitty with a counter of 102.44 on August 2nd. What a billiards. 7 fish. Incredible start. There's that 30-second deficit in Find Me once again, and the equality in tanks. Look at Murrah using the correct paddle in laser hockey. And of course, the iconic level 13 exit that only Murrah can accomplish. Be sure to tune in next week for more high-octane, pulse-pounding, platinum medal action.
The rivalry had pushed the record down 50 seconds in the month since Mitty first encroached the top position, and he was certainly not giving up yet. All this time, the 2 minutes lost in table tennis during the historic 103.32 was nagging at both runners as potential for the record to creep into the mid-101 range, or heck, even into the hour flat range. Despite the proximity to it, sub-hour wasn't even on either Murrah or Mitty's mind, save for the occasional meme chat message. This would all change when Mitty achieved a 102.13 on September 4th, which would normally be cause for celebration, but this unfortunate series of events occurred.
Sure, in the golds run. Oh, for God's sake. Come on! Turn! Just doesn't work, man. Okay, we're still world record pace.
With a minute to save in charge alone, Mitty had more motivation than ever to continue grinding platinum medals, as Murrah was still actively contesting for the record as well. Both runners were still entirely capable of demolishing the record in its current state, but if you haven't noticed already, Mitty struggled with doing everything on the first try after phenomenal Find Me and tank segments. I wonder what he could get if he actually clutched out a proper run.
Oh, come on! Seriously. Yeah, I'm done. I'm just doing plats. This is a joke. This is seriously a joke. I'm not, no. Very, very good. Nice. Good. Oh, I almost died again. I don't think we can sub-hour because I'm not nearly ahead enough, but this is still incredible PB pace. Yes! Come on. And is there anything I can do in shooting range? Right. One combo dropped is very good. How much have I done? Is that enough? It might be enough. I think it's enough. I think that's sub-hour. I think that's sub-hour. That's sub-hour. That's it. That's sub-hour. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's home. Oh my god. It's done. Oh my god. There's no way. There's no way. Oh, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Oh my god. 59.52. Sub-hour plats. Oh, it's home.
In a twist of events that absolutely no one saw coming, MIDI not only skipped the 101, but he completely skipped the 1 hour flat. The community was floored, and we had now surpassed the sub-hour segmented run that Mayrink made just 2 years before. MIDI would take a well-deserved break from platinum medals, while Murrah was playing catch-up with no longer any ambitions for a record, just taking it 1 minute barrier at a time.
Incredible PB. Incredible.
That is by no means where the progression ends yet, as Murrah did get quite close to his own sub-hour with a 1:00:12 achieved on November 24th, 2023.
Holy moly. What an incredible improvement.
That was enough of a push to get MIDI back on the grind, and he would continue to deliver, garnering a 59:14 on December 20th. This record would introduce the 2-player shooting range strategy, which is as simple as connecting a second Wiimote to function as an additional crosshair during shooting range. This is effective in the last stage, allowing you to shoot down the UFOs before their pattern becomes predictable. This saves roughly 10 seconds. Otherwise, Billiards was a 5 break, and Find Me and Tanks continued to be the main minigames for time save. No more second tries for anything at this point, and resets were abundant and routine.
Let's go! 59-14! One of my best shooting ranges as well. Oh my god, what a run that is. Oh my god, that's unbelievable. That is unbelievable.
So what next for platinum medals? Well, there was a tool-assisted speedrun developed by a Japanese individual from December 2021 that clocked in at 43:35. Obviously, that's way outside the realm of human possibility, but I just want to highlight a few things.
This task does the games in order, so Billiards will be 6. There's no score skip, since that was discovered after the release of this run. Instant me selections? Yeah, sure. Look how close the paddle is to the net. Look at it! Ugh, level 10 finish? This is a joke.
Oh my god, I got 7 balls!
36 seconds remaining? Humans are better than the task here. This Tanks is unsurprisingly optimal and... Wait, what the fuck was that?
Back inside the realm of human possibility, if MIDI could ever surpass 1200 points in Pose Me on level 13 like Murrah, that would be roughly 20 seconds right there. But Pose Me actually did have an accidental strategy developed for it while MIDI was trying to salvage a bronze medal speedrun. Take a look.
Wow, the bubbles are really slow now. What the heck? No, this ain't possible. I thought I'd try it. Is that saving time? No, the cutscene is really long, it's not saving time. Oh, it is saving a few seconds though. That might be worth looking into.
Apparently, level 2 is at a sweet spot to burn lives for a few reasons. When a life is lost, the bubbles revert back to their original spawning pattern for 24 reliable points. Unlike level 1, the bubbles fall towards the bottom at a decently rapid rate.
The perfect bonus in this level is 10, so it isn't detrimental to the score when missed.
Dubbed Pose Meaty after its founder, this strategy saves about 5 seconds when a single life is lost and performed optimally, and 10 seconds for 2 lives. Obviously, this poses a risk in later levels, as you have no safety net when the levels go manic with bubble orientation and descent speed, but top runners tend not to struggle on this minigame anyways. Anything else? Just like in the tool-assisted speedrun earlier, we have Tank's frame-perfect death. It is absolutely as precise as it looks, and dying on the same frame as the last surviving tank in a mission will not only advance you to the next mission, but also deduct one of your lives. The earliest recorded instance of a human performing this strategy was when Artemis did it accidentally in late January 2022, but it wasn't even considered as a viable strategy until very recently due to its sheer difficulty and inconsistency. This saves roughly 8.5 seconds and is generally only ever attempted in Mission 1 for obvious reasons. However, if a frame-perfect death is performed on the last life in a mission that's a multiple of 5, you lose the game before you can gain another life to burn, and that scenario saves upwards of 20 seconds. One last strategy to mention is an update to the 2-player shooting range technique. On a very specific version of Wii Play, which is the earliest released North American version, aka the NTSC 1.00 version, this happens when you shoot the purple Mii targets in the second stage with the second Wiimote crosshair. Gaining 3 points and keeping your combo for shooting a purple target seems overpowered, and it is. This saves a further 10 seconds from the original 2-player strategy, but once again is restricted to the NTSC 1.00 version of Wii Play. If you want to learn more about version differences, Cindefusic made a stellar video summarizing it all in just over 2 minutes, so just go check it out. MIDI would acquire this optimal version of Wii Play and modify his console in order to accept the disc in early April of this year to contest for the bronze medals world record. Did you really think MIDI wouldn't have flats on his mind after obtaining this optimal version of Wii Play?
Yeah, if there's a run I'd like to lose to table tennis, it's this one. So, Nitro released his We Play Platts React video. Oh, there we go. It is 10 combined shots and fouls. Silver is 18, and bronze, well, that's a 5. Is it 6? No, it's not 6. I can foul off this though. Alright, gotta focus for this, because tanks has been really annoying lately. That's probably been my fastest death. I don't like comparing it to PB. You know what? Go away, OBS. What are you doing? Actual good 50 points. Thank you. Who's that? Hang. Don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care. If I got 3-3-4, I wouldn't have got score skip. I've never even tested it before. I'm so nervy. I'll go by vibes. I'll go by vibes. Okay, sense bar already started breaking. Yo, bounce ball, how's it going? I don't care. It's not worth it. I might not get score skip. Good. NTSC 1.0 does that. It saves a ridiculous amount of time. Saves 10 seconds in plats. Yes! Oh my god.
Four six three. Okay, Kirk.
463.
463. Barry, let's hear your version of it.
He just got 58, really. I gotta see this. Alright, let's go on Twitch quickly. 58, yeah, no. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's it. I think I'm not getting world record back anymore. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's it. That's the end of the road for me, for all plats. I'm not speedrunning plats anymore for We Play. That's it. I'm out.
The We Play news, I did. I actually checked the comments this morning, and yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, SM MIDI got a 58 in We Play plats, and it was like 2 hours after I posted my We Play reaction. So fucking what a god. Oh, let's make a new reaction video.
58-30. Not only is there a frame-perfect death present in the run, but the shooting range time save pushed an already magnificent pace into a legendary record. MIDI had been yearning for a 58 ever since his 59-14, so this record in particular meant a lot to him.
I went into the stream. I had not the best day. I saw Nightcrow publish the video, and I don't know, that just gave me the strength. I need to rewatch that table tennis. I don't know how I saved that table tennis.
What you don't see in this progression is the hundreds of resets in billiards alone, the hours spent waiting for a chance to leave the prison of the pool table, only to lose promising paces in Tanks or Find Me, often to factors outside of your own control. And then, you have to perform under enormous pressure and do everything else in your first try? The Platinum Medals world record is nothing short of outstanding, and MIDI's journey to get here has inspired a new wave of runners to attempt this gauntlet themselves.
What do you mean? I thought it was going to barely PV. This is a 102.
As of the release of this video, this is what the leaderboards look like now, and Murrah is the only other person with a sub-hour.
Big sigh of relief. I have finally done it.
That is bound to change, as 12 Kelvin is ridiculously close despite having only started running this category earlier this month.
God, man.
Looks like the Tanks experience is coming in handy there. To close out this video, I want to thank Murasaki, SM MIDI, and Cindefusic for helping me out and being my consultants for historic accuracy. I also want to thank the Wii Series Speedrunning Discord, which you should totally join, wink wink nudge nudge, for supporting me during the creation of this video. You guys are truly encouraging beyond belief. Next, thanks to everyone whose footage I used, as this project would literally have never seen the light of day without you.
Finally, thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and please subscribe. This is a channel I made specifically to post content like this, so if you want to see more in the future, click that like button, comment some nice things, maybe even some mean things, and let me know that I should keep making more by clicking subscribe. Thank you.